All right, guys, let's talk about the NFL football on Christmas Day. I mean, of course, there was the NBA on Christmas Day. Of course, Victor Wembanyama putting up a show against the New York Knicks. Of course, champ, there was your Lakers going up against the Warriors, in which the Lakers won. But NFL seems like they're the king right now. I mean, you look at the ratings. What was it? Over 24 million tuned
Yeah,
in for the Kansas City Chiefs game against the Steelers.
yeah,
Then a little over 24 million for the Ravens Texans game, and 27 million tuned in to see Beyonce, of course, at the halftime performance. No surprise there. It was in her hometown of Houston, Texas. So, Champ, I'm gonna let you go with this first, man, because you did a video on this on your TikTok. Please go follow Undisputed World Champ, and please also go follow him on his podcast on Thursdays and Saturday nights. He BRF Sports, and of course Flash. I'm gonna let you go first again, man. What are your thoughts about the games? And do you think the NFL is taking over the NBA as far as with the ratings and stuff?
Well, the thing is, the ratings was already down in the NBA this year. They're experiencing a down year in the ratings, and it's not getting any better. I mean, if you really, really think about it, those ratings that they got on Christmas was the highest ratings they've gotten all year. And part of that problem is there's no story within the NBA right about now. There's no story. I mean, it's like I'm not going to insult the game because I like the way the game is. It's offensive driven. People want to see offense. And you got to be careful about what you ask for because everybody was talking about, well, defense, people always frown upon defense. But now that you have too much offense, now you're seeing how much it waters the game down. But there's no story in the NBA right now, and their biggest superstars are on their way out. And there's nobody to really replace them at this point. And you cannot replace a LeBron James. You cannot replace a Steph Curry. You cannot replace a Kevin Durant. Those are our generation's big three. Sort of like in the 80s when you had Jordan, Bird, and Magic and Dr. J. It's just like you just cannot replace those guys right about now. And I don't think the NBA has done a great job of putting the camera on a lot of the guys anyway. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I think the NFL has overtaken the NBA on Christmas because look, it's ingenious about I don't think people are thinking about this. It's genius what the NBA did. It's genius. Think about what they did. They put a team on that is on the verge of a three-peat in the first game against the most storied franchise in NFL history, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they put them on that first game. And then in the second game, you put the most exciting player in this day and age in Lamar Jackson against an up-and-coming quarterback in Beyonce's hometown in C.J. Stroud. Then you put Beyonce on there. How can you win? You can't. You got the NFL. You can put the most greatest program on, and you could probably put the most boringest NFL game that you could possibly find. And I guarantee you that program will not beat that NFL game. And like I said, when you add Beyonce into the mix, it pretty much sweetens up the fire. It's just like you just pour gasoline and kerosene and all of that, and it just turns into a bonfire. And hey, it's about competition. Hey, if you don't want to watch one thing, you got a choice in order to go to the other. And like I said, in just two games, and like I said, the games within itself told a story. Team going into a three-peat, getting ready to go into the playoffs for a three-peat. The most storied franchise in NFL history, the Pittsburgh Steelers, first game, boom. That's the story within itself. Not to mention Russell Wilson trying to win comeback player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Second game, C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans been kind of struggling, been kind of sputtering. They just lost Tank Dell last week. They going up against the NFL MVP, or excuse me, the MV3, because he will win that MVP, by the way. You can quote me on that. But and you just can't get a story better than that. You got four of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Then you add Beyonce into the mix. How can you defeat that? You can't. I mean, like I said, Beyonce by herself gonna draw her own audience.
Not to mention in front of her hometown in Houston, Texas.
Yes, indeed. I was just getting to that. So she's gonna draw her own audience, by the way, because she's gonna draw women and children and people who don't even watch the game of football. So you putting her name on your programming is gonna have people tuning in anyway.
Box office.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. And trust me, I would know because sorry to cut you off, champ. I went to New Orleans. Shout out to Mama PSP and Angie. They took me to New Orleans 1 month before my birthday. If you go to a Beyonce concert, it's popping.
Yes, it is.
It's fun. It's fun, man. Yeah. And especially in a city like New Orleans, it's going to be fun. And when you go to H-Town, that's going to be popping as well, too, man. And also, according to Nielsen, I'm reading it right here. A Christmas record was a record-breaking day for Netflix and the NFL with an unduplicated audience of nearly 65 million U.S. viewers, according to Nielsen. Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens game, 24.3 million. Kansas City Chiefs versus Pittsburgh Steelers, 24.1 million. The Beyonce halftime performance, 27 million, man. So this is big news for the NFL, man. And shout out to my man Patrick L. Brown. Does some work for the Grid Network, writes articles and stuff. What up, fellas? Warriors and Lakers game was the most exciting game of the Christmas day. Texans got embarrassed by Baltimore for sure. Don't worry about that, Patrick. We will discuss about the MVP later on the show. And he mentioned an interesting point. NFL has seized the moment to cash in on Christmas Day. Next year, it falls on Thursday in 2025. Best believe the NFL will own the holiday again. Of course, not to mention Amazon Prime, because they do the football games as well.
Yeah. NFL got the most intriguing stories in any sport. And like I said, people are talking about Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. People are talking about Jaden Daniels, one of the most exciting quarterbacks we've seen since RG3.
Which we will talk about later on the show.
Yes, people are talking about Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, the race to 2,000 yards. There's so much story in the NFL that you can find something to intrigue you. And like I said, when you add Beyonce to the mix, that's definitely going to bring its own eyeballs. And I would know, much like yourself, I went to a Beyonce concert. I went to the On the Run tour back in the day when her and Jay-Z was touring. So I know the following that brings. So the thing is, man, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. And although, you have the biggest names in basketball, it cannot compete with the NFL. Like I said, the only thing that has ever beaten the NFL in the ratings that I know of in my lifetime was wrestling. That's the only thing I've ever known to be, and that was a long time ago in the Monday Night Wars. That was the only time that I've seen an NFL programming get beat in the ratings. Other than that, outside of you putting on the biggest concert in the world and putting it up against them, then you're not going to win that. Like I said, the NFL is king. And if you ever notice, the excitement around this time of year is boom, 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 especially with the college football playoff in the NFL. You ever notice that although March Madness is often an exciting time, there's not that rah-rahness to it like you have within the football game.
Right. So
it's like, yeah, man. I mean, football is king in the United States of America, man. It's a beautiful thing, man, because, hey.
Oh, no question about it. If you go to certain states like Texas, they eat, breathe, and sleep football 24/7. And plus, champ, I can't believe you forgot to mention, even though I don't know if she was at that game, people tune into the Kansas City Chiefs, not just because of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid. They tune in to see Taylor Swift.
Yes. You got Taylor Swift on one game, although people complain about, they show her too much. They only show her for like 30 seconds a game. Chill out. But you got Taylor Swift on one game, a team that's going for a three-peat, and the most storied franchise in the NFL. That's the first game because everybody watches the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody.
Yep.
And in the second game, who don't want to see Lamar Jackson? Who don't want
Who
to
doesn't want to see Lamar Action Jackson?
and who doesn't want to see Beyonce? So it's hard to compete against that. So I mean, look, man, big ups to the NFL, Mr. Carter and Mrs. Carter because Jay-Z is a part of the entertainment committee with the NFL. So
which is why Kendrick Lamar is performing in the Super Bowl. Although a lot of
exactly.
people wanted to see Lil Wayne because, of course, in New Orleans. But at the same time, Kendrick Lamar is the hottest commodity right now, especially with the track Not Like Us. And now with his album. By the way, go check out his album, man. That album is good.
It is smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
BRF, I'm gonna let you go on this one.
Man, dream scenario. I mean, it probably won't happen because Lil Wayne has spoken about this. But could you imagine a dream scenario? Kendrick Lamar's performing, doing his thing. Dream scenario. He brought out Wayne and they did Mona Lisa. Tell me that wouldn't be a dream scenario. Lil Wayne's already said he won't perform that song because he doesn't even remember the lyrics to the song. So he's already come out. He's already come out and said that. But I'm just saying that would be like the perfect dream scenario because we remember when Carter 5 came out and Mona Lisa. That was like the big track of that, like one of the biggest tracks of that album. So just a dream scenario. But I mean, like the NFL right now is just the king. I mean, there's nothing else to say. The NFL is king right now. I mean, when you put on two games that had a total combined score of 60-12, and then you and you still putting out those viewers. I mean, the NFL's king, and it's like Champ said. I mean, they have narratives. They have narratives going. They got stories going right now. I mean, you got the Kansas City Chiefs trying to become the first team ever since the NFL AFL merger, the Super Bowl era, to pull off a true three-peat. And I mean, come on, man, Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, 6 championships. I mean, what more do we need to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers? 6 titles. 6 titles. They're the first franchise of 6 titles. They are the franchise when it comes to the National Football League. 6 championships. I mean, you put those two teams together on any Sunday. Those games are going to blow up. Those games are going to bring in viewers because you expect the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers to be a box office hit. They're gonna do well. Just unfortunate this game wasn't as good. But I mean that's still name brand, that's still value that each franchise brings to the table. And of course with Baltimore and Houston, I mean granted Houston's been struggling, but they're still an up and coming franchise with one of the brightest young quarterbacks in the National Football League going in CJ Stroud. And of course with Lamar Jackson, who I mean, I can't. As much as I love Josh Allen, I can't defend him winning MVP no more. I can't do it. I've been defending Josh Allen for weeks, but Lamar, it's gonna get to a point with Lamar Jackson where the numbers are just gonna be too sick. The numbers are just gonna be too sick. I think there's a graphic. I think right now he has the second greatest passer rating in a season right now to Aaron Rodgers, like ever. Second greatest passer rating. Aaron Rodgers was like a 122 something. Lamar's at a 121.6. I mean, Lamar's just doing things like he's just doing ungodly things right now at the quarterback position. And then where is he at? Where is he at in total touchdowns? He's over 40 in total touchdowns this year with only 4 interceptions. I mean, at some point the numbers are just going to be too sick to not give him the MVP. And I feel like the performance against Pittsburgh, and then you follow it up with this performance against Houston. I mean, I thought Josh Allen had it locked up, depending on what Lamar Jackson did. Oh no, I think Lamar's got number 3 in the bag after this. But I mean, it's just yeah, like I said, man, the NFL's kings, man. They just have so many things going for them right now. They're just bringing so much more to the table as far as the NBA. But at the same time, with the NBA, I mean, Christmas Day for the most part had been it really had been their holiday. I mean, they're going to put out 5 really good games for the most part, and they try their hardest to put on their box office franchises. It's not like the Christmas slate was bad. It's not like the Christmas slate was a bad slate. I mean, let's see. You start off with San Antonio, and you start off with the Spurs and the Knicks. Victor Wembanyama goes for 42 and 18. I mean, like he's like he's starting to play himself into top 10 NBA player conversations right now. He's been doing this thing. You got the New York Knicks. This new just I don't want to call him a super team, but I mean,
Hey, Mikal
Carl
Bridges
Anthony.
had 42.
Yeah, I'm about to say Mikal Bridges matched him with that 42. So, and it's like Carl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson. I mean, it's not like the Knicks aren't a box office squad. They're a really good squad right now. They're off to one of their best starts in a long time. Victor Wembanyama did what he did, and the Knicks still beat them. I mean, that just pretty much tells you what kind of team the New York Knicks are right now. Come on, man. What you got the 76ers, even though they haven't been doing that good this year, you got them and the Celtics, still one of the better rivalries in the NBA. You got them on Christmas. Of course, I mean, come on, man. The Lakers and the Warriors. You can't go wrong with the LA Lakers and the Golden State Warriors on a Christmas Day slate. You can't go wrong with them. And it was it's not like I said, it's not like it was a bad slate. I mean, all the games really all the games really hit. All 5 games hit. There weren't really any blowouts. All 5 games were really good games. It's just that right now I feel it's like it almost feels like the NBA, I don't know. I guess it's one of those situations where like, you know, no Luka, no Giannis. You did get Tatum, you did get Braun, you did get Steph, you got Wemby. I mean, it's not like you didn't have really, really, really high quality star players playing on Christmas. It's just right now the NFL is on a roll right now. They are we used to call them Major League Baseball America's pastime. I mean, that's the National Football League right now. They are the sport. They are the sport of America right now, and there's just really not a lot any of the sport can really do to touch them as far as like the revenue, the box office, the viewership. I mean, to be able to pull that off on a streaming station, to be able to pull that off on Netflix, that just shows you the power of the National Football League and just how they're just not going to stop. They're not going to stop anytime soon. And it's just one of those things where you just have to recognize, it's real, recognize real. And the NBA is just gonna I don't know. I think the NBA can recover some viewership, but I mean, it's going to take a lot of work. It's definitely going to take a lot of work, and just the NFL right now just can't do no wrong. I mean, it is what it is at this point. So, and it's like I said, you put out 2 games with a combined score of 60-12, 2 blowouts, but yet they still draw the viewership. That just shows you the power of the National Football League right now. So just shout out to them for being able to capitalize. They know how to capitalize certain things when the iron is hot, particularly with the Beyonce performance in Houston, Texas, of all places, her hometown. They just know when to capitalize when the iron's hot. They know how to strike. So shout out to the NFL, man. Right now they're hitting on all cylinders and they can do no wrong.
Harrison, I'm sorry, Champ, you want to say something or?
Quick question before Harrison goes. I got to ask y'all this question. Do y'all think that the ratings would have been even more mind-boggling had it been on, let's say, CBS or let's say Fox? Do you think it would have been a lot worse? Do you think that gap would have been a lot worse? Because, as we know, Netflix is kind of like cable, back in our day. Not everybody had cable back in our day, but, Netflix is kind of like cable. But do you think that blowout in the ratings war on Christmas would have been a lot worse if it would have been on, let's say, CBS or Fox? It's just a question I have.
It's for me, it's possible with the fact that it would have been nationally accessible to basically everyone if it was on a CBS or Fox. So the possibility there, that blowout could have been worse because everybody can access CBS and Fox. So
Or
yeah,
ESPN.
or ESPN for that matter. So yeah, it could have been. It could there. It's lucky that it was that bad because it was on like a ESPN, a Fox, a CBS, an NBC networks like that. Oh, it would have been like it could have got worse. It really could have because of the accessibility.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Harrison.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you put me on the big screen, by the way? Can you put me on the big screen, by the
All
way,
right, hold on.
PSP?
Give me a second.
Make sure to clip it, by the way.
Oh gosh, here we
I
go.
can't take it. Really cannot take a Chiefs fan seriously anymore. If I would rather talk to a blank wall than talk to a Chiefs fan. I'm talking to that Chiefs fan, by the way, that I shared it to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Undisputed World Champion PSP. I can't do this anymore. I can't take a Chiefs fan seriously anymore because I would rather talk to a blank wall than talk to a Chiefs fan. But it's just you Chiefs fans are absolutely ridiculous saying that Mahomes should win the MVP, which Lamar Jackson has way better stats than Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen has way better stats than Patrick Mahomes, and also in the running back chase, even though they have, I don't think they're not going to win the MVP because it's a quarterback thing. Saquon and Derrick Henry. I don't know why you Chiefs fans think that Mahomes should win the MVP. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. Stop being casuals and be realistic for once. Okay, now I'm done. Okay, you can take me off the big screen, by the way. PSP.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, you can take me off now.
I just did.
Okay. Yeah, there's just Beyonce. I mean, Taylor Swift. I mean, like what champs say about the whole the new people who are trying to get into the NFL. I mean, we all can blame the Swifties and also the biggest fans of the people of Beyonce right now. I mean, I didn't watch the halftime report because I was eating some Chinese food for Christmas. So, like, I mean, you got to give the NFL props. They works they tail off to make it happen. We've been hearing about these commercials for God knows how long, a lot. And also, listen, I didn't watch. I don't like the NBA. I don't like it. I have my personal opinion about it, but I'm not gonna say it. Think before you speak. By the way, I just think that the NFL does it way better than the NBA. Yes, the 4 games. Yeah, the 4 games about. And, excuse me. And also on ESPN2, they did a little bit of Disney with with Mickey Mouse and Goofy and Donald Duck and all that type of stuff. The little mini cartoon characters.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
The deck the halls, the Spurs and the Knicks.
Yeah, listen, I messed with it. It was pretty cool. I like them, but you still can't doubt the NFL whatsoever. It doesn't matter what it is, but that's all I'm gonna say. But I just had to say this online because I just can't take a Chiefs fan seriously.
My thing regarding the NFL, NBA, I just think the NFL is getting ahead with the times. And look, NFL cares about the money. And my brother and I, we had this conversation, and shout out to Kenny. Say what you want about Roger Goodell in terms of the punishment protocol and stuff like that, but he's definitely made the owners and players a hell of a lot more money than they can imagine or realize, man. And that's one of the reasons why he's still going to be the commissioner, because at the end of the day, he's going to put money directly into the owners and players' pockets. They're making more money than they could ever realize. And, of course, with Jay-Z, he's going to give them the high performances. I mean, look at 2020 for Miami. He had J-Lo and he had Shakira. Then in 2021, he had The Weeknd at Tampa. 2022 at LA, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Eminem, 50, Mary J. Blige. Then 2023, he had Rihanna, who at the time was pregnant. And then in 2024, you had Usher. And now in 2025, you have Kendrick Lamar. I just think that the NFL is getting ahead with the times. And look, the NFL don't really care. Like with the Kansas City Chiefs, even though people can't stand seeing Taylor Swift, hey, NFL don't care, because as long as we making money and putting it directly into our pockets, hey, you can do no wrong. And with Beyonce performing and with her platform, hey, 24 million, 27 million for Beyonce. I don't know what the NBA is going to have to do, but I mean, you're incorporating different things, the in-season tournament, the play-in tournament. I love the play-in tournament. I actually think it's great. It's exciting for people to watch. But when you look at the current stars with the NBA, I don't think the NBA right now is doing a good enough job marketing the younger players. And my brother and I, we talked about it with Zion. I don't know what's going on with Zion Williamson. If I'm the Pelicans, I trade him. I wouldn't cut him. I trade him to go elsewhere. But at the same time, it's been 6 years. And coming out of college, there were a lot of comparisons between him and LeBron James. And look, man, although it's laughable because it's New Orleans, I've talked about New Orleans. New Orleans is known for good food and hospitality, but Zion got to get up out of here, man, because he hasn't lived up or maximized his potential. And I just think with the NFL, a lot more narratives, a lot more exciting, fun things to do. And plus, we also talked about the games and how it's late at night to watch an NBA game compared to an NFL game. You got to figure out a way to like make it. You got to schedule the games in order for it to go. Because are people going to be tuned in to watch a 10:30, 11 o'clock game at night? No, they probably want to get enough rest to go to work the next morning. So you got to figure out a way to fix that.